check out our streaming schedule for this week. We've got tons of content in terms of the NFL and college football, as we're going live just about every single day this week. So make sure you hit that notification bell so you don't miss a single moment where we go live. And now, on with our feature presentation. I want to take you back to last season in the NFC Championship between the Detroit Lions and the San Francisco 49ers for what might be the dumbest moment of Dan Campbell's coaching career. Yes, Campbell is aggressive, and you live with the aggression and die with the aggression. And his MO is very consistent. So unless something is mind-numbingly stupid, like going for it on 4th and 15 at your own 15-yard line up by 3 with 10 seconds left, he's pretty much exempt at this point from dumb decisions for that. But this wasn't aggressive so much as it was outright stupid. With the Lions trailing by 10 points with all their timeouts left, they're faced with 3rd and 1 at the goal line at about 1 minute to go. You have 2 plays to go 1 yard and punch it in. And the good news is that because you have all your timeouts, so long as you score a touchdown and don't burn a timeout, you can still get the ball back even if you don't recover the super low percentage onside kick. You'd be downright moronic to call a run here on 3rd down, where if it doesn't work, you're killing a ton of time. You have to burn a timeout, and if you don't get the onside kick, the game is over. And sure enough, Dan Campbell does just that, as he decides that now is a good time to run the ball with David Montgomery, which gets stuffed, forcing the Lions to burn a timeout. And then, even though they score on the ensuing play, because they don't recover the onside kick, the game is over, seeing as they can't stop the clock 3 times. You can learn more about how moronic this decision was by clicking the card in the upper right corner. It was a really stupid decision that was watched by over 56 million people in the United States in real time, and was so dumb that I didn't think anyone would be dumb enough to try that again. And then Sunday happened.
They will. Allen on the sneak. I don't think he got it. He did not. And now they're going to have to use a timeout, to your point.
Welcome to Dumb Decisions. Before we break down what happened here, this whole series is about taking an in-depth look at decisions made during games that were clearly awful from the start. This isn't something to look bad in hindsight. Rather, this is something to look awful almost immediately. These are moves where your gut instinct tells you right away that there is no way this could possibly work. And sure enough, your gut instinct was smarter than that of an NFL head coach. And for this one, we're going to take a look at the mind of Buffalo Bills head coach Sean McDermott. From an X's and O's standpoint, McDermott might be fine. Heck, even though the AFC East is a living, breathing dumpster fire of a division, he still managed to get his team, which lost a ton of pieces in free agency this past offseason, to clinch a division title and a playoff spot with 5 weeks to go, which is no small feat and has to count for something. But man, with a game on the line, I'm not sure there's a head coach that I'd trust less to make important, all-encompassing decisions than McDermott. We saw what happened last year with the game on the line against the Philadelphia Eagles, which you can learn more about by clicking the card in the upper right corner. We saw what happened earlier in the season against the Houston Texans in a decision so bad and baffling that it may have ultimately cost them the #1 seed and home field advantage in the AFC, which you can learn more about by clicking the card in the upper right corner. And now we have this. We have this decision that made no sense at the time and will make even less sense when you hear just how McDermott tried to justify this one. Because I promise you guys, it's a doozy. So with that being said, let's take a look at why calling a quarterback sneak on 1st and goal, and then calling a timeout when you've got all 3 and you're down by 2 possessions is a really bad idea. But before I do that, if you want to learn more about some other really bad ideas throughout the history of the NFL, both from this season and seasons in the past, then this is the place for you, because we talk about all things NFL history all the time with a new video and a new live stream every single day. So if you like that sort of stuff, then be sure to hit that like button down below, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss a single video that we post on the channel. Thanks in advance for your support as we try and hit 70,000 subscribers. At the end of the day, if you're this man right here in Sean McDermott, the odds aren't in your favor that you're going to win the game, but the thing going for you is that you can stop the clock. You don't necessarily have to onside kick it. In fact, considering how low percentage of play the onside kick is, with the number of recoveries this season being so small as to be able to count on one hand, I'm not even sure you do onside kick if you score, and have all your timeouts. It's a close call. So you have to know the situation that when you're down by the goal line, the one thing you can't have happen is a running clock. At the 1 yard line, if you throw the ball, assuming you don't take a sack, one of two things can happen. Either you score or you don't score. The difference if you don't score is that the clock stops, which benefits you, because time is your own worst enemy at this point. You're not going to be calling a pass that doesn't reach the end zone from the 1 yard line. However, with a run, even if the same two scenarios happen, where either you score or you don't score, if you don't score, the clock is running, which hurts you. And at that point, you either have to burn 20 seconds, which is about 3 plays if you get the ball back, or you have to call a timeout, which makes the timeout even stupider if you were going to run the same play again on the quarterback sneak, seeing as you already had the personnel out there already. So you easily could have just gone with the no-huddle offense and taken 15 or 20 seconds off the clock or thereabout and call that play on second down and save your timeout. That's the other part about this decision that's baffling. Or should I say, one of the other parts, because there's a lot that's baffling about this. You had everyone out there already, so even if this play didn't work out, and obviously it didn't, if you were running the same play on second down with the same personnel, why burn the timeout? Yes, the running clock stinks, but I guarantee you that it's not going to take 40 seconds to call the play when you get back to the line. A timeout, though? Well, the Rams, if they get it back, would be able to kill 40 seconds on one run. You want to choose the option that kills the least amount of time. That's just common sense. A pass obviously kills the least amount of time, because failure to complete it stops the clock. A run kills a fair amount of time because the clock is running the entire way. And it's why you don't run the ball in that spot unless it's 4th and goal, and a failure to get it doesn't result in the clock running, but rather results in a turnover on downs. So you go with your highest percentage play in that spot. But a run that then forces you to burn a timeout, essentially forcing you to burn 40 seconds that you would otherwise need, that is the literal worst option. Sean McDermott, I kid you not, you literally chose the worst possible option with this play. And what's insane is that it's not like the tush push, where it's almost a guaranteed score. Because earlier in the game, remember that the Bills tried a quarterback sneak from this spot, and the Rams got the stuff. Look at this. We already seen that play get blown up once before from the same yard line. Don't get me wrong, it'd be stupid if Nick Sirianni and the Eagles did this, but you get a bit more of a pass when you're converting that play 93% of the time, and it's about as automatic of a thing to happen as Ken Jennings winning during his 2004 streak on Jeopardy. But with Buffalo, in this spot, not just knowing the situational aspect of it, but knowing that Allen had been stopped on this play earlier in the game, so it was far from a guarantee, absolutely crazy. If you throw a pass on first down with 106 and get the touchdown, it's the same exact best case scenario as if you call a run on first down with 106 and get the touchdown. The worst case scenario, barring a turnover obviously, is the clock stops. If you score on second down with roughly a minute left on a pass, you have all your timeouts. Then, even if you don't recover the ensuing kickoff, if 3 runs by the Rams take 5 seconds each, they're punting it back to you with about 45 seconds left, giving you plenty of time to get into field goal range for Tyler Bass, considering the fact that your quarterback is Josh freaking Allen and your offense is really good. But now, call a run, and that's 40 seconds that are coming off the clock when the Rams get it back because you stupidly burned a timeout, which means the Rams are punting it back to you with about 5 seconds left, meaning that you can't possibly win the game unless you get a Michigan State punt block miracle. 45 seconds or 5 seconds, which gives you more time to score and possibly win the game. Yeah, it's really worth it to go a run in that spot. Really freaking worth it, if I do say so myself. And after the game, the man you've been watching this whole time in Sean McDermott was asked about the, shall we say, highly controversial decision to try the quarterback sneak and to not do what any sane coach would have done in this spot and throw the ball. I mean, he was getting grilled by the Rams players themselves, who were in awe and were surprised and happy that the Bills effectively sabotaged their chances of winning the game by sneaking the ball and then calling timeout instead of, at the very least, leaving the same guys out on the field to run the play again. But as for what McDermott had to say, get ready for this. Because if you thought the man was bad in crunch time situations, and you thought this was a dumb play already, just listen to this. As he said, you had two options. Neither were great. We felt like we were under the time where we could get the ball back with timeouts and succeed. So let me get this straight. Sean McDermott felt as though even if he scored on that first down play with over a minute left, that even if they got a stop and burned all their timeouts, there was no chance for them to drive down the field and get a field goal. In other words, Sean McDermott surrendered with a minute to go and all of his timeouts down by the goal line in a 2-score game. And to be fair to him, even if the Bills got a stop and used all their timeouts and scored right away, they're only getting the ball back with roughly 40 seconds left down by 2 points. Tyler Bass has hit from 61 before, hitting one from that distance just a couple of weeks ago against Miami. And seeing as this was in a quasi-indoor stadium in good weather, you figure that's the target line. If we assume a kickoff deep, a stop, and a 45-yard punt in terms of net, you're getting the ball back right around your own 20-yard line with 40 seconds left, needing to drive about 40 yards to try a field goal. To be fair to McDermott, that is actually timeout. That's actually extremely doable. Like, what are you possibly talking about, Coach McDermott? The Chiefs could do that in 13 seconds, and you can't do it in over triple the time? You've got Josh Allen on your team. You've got one of the top contenders for MVP of the league at quarterback. It's not like you just drove 70 yards in 50 seconds to get down to the goal line. Oh, wait, you did. You freaking did. How do you have Josh Allen at quarterback and not trust him in this absolutely reasonable spot? Do you not know how to do math? Do you have trust issues? In what universe did you think that it was way too unrealistic to score if you got the ball back needing 40 yards in 40 seconds? And what's awful about that logic too is that if you were under the time in your mind, which makes no sense by itself, but still, if you were under the time, guess what? You needed a touchdown and a field goal to win it, since you're only down by 9, thanks to a missed extra point by the Rams. When you got to the 16-yard line with 1:18 left, just kick the field goal there. Then you've got 1:14 left. You've got plenty of time to drive down the field, and you have all your timeouts. Like, if you thought you were under the time, there were ways to not be under the time. It's not like the clock snuck up on you, or at least it shouldn't have. The post-game comments by McDermott can be interpreted one of two ways. Either he is completely clueless, or he refuses to trust Josh Allen to win a football game, despite the fact that Allen is one of the best quarterbacks in football and contributed not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, but 6 touchdowns on the day. 6! To have the goal to say something like that about not having enough time to work with if you got to stop and got the ball back, and to essentially surrender the game, especially seeing as you were on the opposing sideline for 13 seconds, is just baffling. It's like being in a street race while driving a Ferrari, and your opponent has a used car that tops out at 90 miles an hour. That car is about 4 lengths ahead of you, and you're not trying to go full speed to catch up to him with a mile to go in the race because you don't think you have enough time to make a move and pass him. Give me a break, Coach McDermott. What are we doing here? And what's really funny about what this team behind me right here did in the final minute of the contest was that before that incident, I had no dumb decisions for Sunday. Honestly, this was a pretty good week in terms of coaches not doing stupid things. There were some things that were pretty borderline and I didn't agree with at all. For example, the Titans against the Jaguars. Titans had 3 plays down by the 2-yard line in the second quarter and didn't run the ball once. Now, not exactly a dumb decision, don't agree with it, but if Will Levis hits his wide open tight end on 4th down, we're not having that conversation. Jets-Dolphins wasn't crazy about throwing the ball on 3rd and 21 in that spot, but Carlson isn't the best kicker in the world, so I get the idea of wanting to get closer into range, even if it does mean stopping the clock. So there were some plays that were borderline, but nothing that rose to the level of a true dumb decision. And then Sean McDermott came in and saved the day. This was a gift from the heavens. You can thank McDermott for this video because otherwise, I have no clue what the video today would have been. We were dumb decisionless on Sunday, and then Sean McDermott came in to save the day like he always does in close situations. So what do we learn from all of this? If you are trailing late in the fourth quarter of a game and you don't have to bring your timeouts, then don't burn your timeouts. Save them. You'll need them to stop the clock. Do not call running plays down by 2 scores inside of 2 minutes unless you absolutely have to, a la fourth down. And especially do not do this if they did not work in the past and are not a guarantee. If you are going to call a play where failure to get it keeps the clock running, and you're going to then call the same play again with the same personnel, then don't call a timeout, because I promise you, it won't take 40 seconds to get that play off, and a timeout accounts for 40 seconds. It's basic math. If you have a realistic chance at winning, then you take that chance, and you do not surrender the game for no reason, especially a game of this magnitude, and especially when you have a quarterback who can come up big in those spots and who you can absolutely trust. And if you think that over a minute left with all your timeouts and the possible MVP quarterback on your side isn't enough time to get you 3 points, then you need to seriously reevaluate how you call a football game and how you can look your players in the eye and trust them, because that truly made no sense whatsoever. 40 yards in 40 seconds with Josh Allen, that's too much to handle. Give me a break. Because when all these elements are in play, you can't exactly be surprised when this play backfires. Talk about a dumb decision. Be sure to like and subscribe if you have not done so already, as it helps the channel out a lot. And check out my other channels, JG8 for the history of college football, JG7 for the history of baseball, and JG9 News, where we talk about all things happening in the NFL. Join me every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, where we'll play live NFL trivia for cash prizes. And make sure to join me live, as we're on stream just about every single day. And thanks to all our Patreon members and our YouTube members for helping out the channel. See how you become a member and show your support financially in the description down below.